Alright, so in this video we're going to be looking at the EnderToys Terrain brick walls. I got these so that I could use them in Warhammer 40,000. However, realistically, I have a feeling these are going to be good in any kind of war game. Some kind of brick or stone wall has been around forever in our world, so you can make it work in whatever fantasy, sci-fi world you're playing. So, these are going to be everywhere. I like this bundle. It's a 4-piece set, 2 big walls, 2 small lower walls, and they're very versatile, I find, in terms of making building footprints, making ruins. Because you get 4 pieces and they're all the same corner angle, essentially, you can rotate them, you can move them as far or as close apart as you want. It really helps to make a building foundation for your characters, your models, to hide in, shoot in, move around. It's such a useful piece. Now, I got these for Warhammer 40,000, mostly because if you look at the larger ones, my Plague Marine model comfortably fits behind it, and it could realistically feel like he's looking around the corner through the broken bricks, shooting at the enemy. The lower ones aren't as useful for the Warhammer 40k games. I mean, yeah, he can see over it, so maybe for smaller models like Guardsmen or Chaos Cultists, this will work as something to hide behind. But for the larger Space Marines and other models, it doesn't quite work as well. It just looks a little too small for them. Like, they can easily step over it. Not going to give them much protection on the battlefield. Now, looking at it as more of a fantasy setting, I actually like these, because in D&D or Pathfinder, if you're using models, you can really use this to help flesh out the battlefield. It'll make it look like there's clear ruins to hide behind, give you something to actually physically play with in the world, to interact with, for your characters to try to maneuver around. It'll make a much more dynamic battlefield, especially if you do use line of sight blocking terrain to stop like an archer or magic attacks. Another thing that's great, especially if you're using like a grid system in D&D, is you can arrange them. So not only does it define the inside of buildings if you want to make like a representation of your bar, but by rearranging them in this pattern, you've just created and defined an intersection that your characters will have to move around and through, and maybe even fight opponents through. It really does work in a lot of places. Now, I truly think that these might be one of EnderToys' most versatile and useful terrain pieces. It's mostly because the idea that some kind of brick or stone building structure has been used forever in our history, like real history, and realistically will probably be used long into the future in whatever civilization that comes and how we develop. So, using it in a fantasy setting, using it as a historic setting like World War I, World War II, or even older. I know there's some medieval wargaming out there. Far off sci-fi, whether it's like the Star Wars version or Warhammer 40,000. I think these will be seen on any kind of battlefield, anywhere, anytime, and it'll still make it feel realistic and a natural environment. Alright, so thank you for watching this EnderToys review of the brick walls. Let me know what you think,